high gear and kick this episode into high gear.
Yeah. Well, what do you guys think? Start it out?
Let's get rolling. Welcome back to Wilder Minds.
Let's roll.
Let's roll.
Welcome back.
Yeah, we got a quick trip to Ohio.
Business trip, like I said, with group text, and when all the excitement happened, I said, wow, that was a business trip.
Unbelievable.
That doesn't usually happen.
No, it definitely doesn't. Rich is still down there fighting the good fight. Feel for you there, buddy. But I'm not, and I'm happy about it.
You were fast. That could be the fastest you've ever had down there.
Yeah, so just to give a quick setup, gun season opened in Ohio the other day. I think it opened, was it Monday?
Yeah, Monday.
Opened Monday morning.
First.
Today's Thursday that we're recording this. So, yeah, opened up on Monday. Gun season in Ohio for us is always awesome because we're down there during bow season. Usually you guys see some success in bow season. And this year, JB, you did. Schuster did.
Yep.
You and I did not. But we're chasing these deer around for weeks in bow season, and then it's like, okay, now it's gun time.
Reach out and touch them.
That's right. Now it's gun season. So we ripped down there on Monday, and right out of the gate, we were able to make it happen, which is pretty exciting.
First time ever, not only just on opening day, but first time ever you and I have shot together on the same day.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yep.
Which is wild when you think about all the
30 plus years of hunting
hundreds
together.
of days we've spent in deer camp, and you guys have spent in deer camp even before we started doing all this stuff.
I'm talking when we were kids, we
All the
never
way
shot
back.
on the same day. Like this is 30 plus years
All the way
of
back.
hunting together.
Yeah.
And that's never happened. We've shot close to each other, like a day and then
Day
the next
apart,
day,
yeah.
or
Evening and morning or
but
Yeah.
we've never had like the same day tagged out, like bring the buck back to the skinning shed.
Yeah.
So
Like same, not even on dropped.
No.
Same day. I mean, it's
I was
never,
thinking about that.
no, never,
never been any.
not anymore,
Not anymore.
not anymore. The two go-to stands. First of all, Grizzly Alpha blinds.
Oh,
In the middle of like the cornfield. So
No.
basically we have the Grizzly Alpha set up for this exact reason. Like if you have a season in bow where you don't, you're chasing them, but you don't get one, you go sit the Grizzly.
yeah.
And we both sat in Grizzlies and it was game over.
It was so funny. I was unloading the truck when I got there, and I said to Rich, I'm like, Rich, I'm hesitant to unload this truck right now. And he's like, why is that? And I said, because we're going to go out there, we're going to kill, and I'm going to put this stuff right back in the truck and go home. Like joking.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, but seriously, we are going to kill tonight. And
Yeah.
an hour and a half later, it was done.
Yeah.
Which is honestly, that's never the case. If there's 20 days to season,
Yeah.
I'm like 19 and 7/8 days.
Oh.
Like that's what it takes me
Yeah.
to do.
When I leave the house, I always say to Katie, like, look, if I shoot, she says, when's the last possible day that you'll be back? Because that's what I'm going to count on, not if you shoot. That's
Yeah.
not going to happen. It's like, well, I guess you're right.
So-
this one was actually,
Yeah.
hey, if I shoot on the opener, I'll be home. And I'm home. So it's the first time that's ever happened.
So take us through minute by minute your hunt. Let it unfold from the minute you guys pull in to the setup to this is what you expect to come in and just the whole thing.
Yeah, so it starts with intel. We've got plenty of intel coming off our cell cameras, running those Cabela cell cameras right now, and they're unbelievable.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I don't know how quickly we're going to turn on this, but right now, the deal of the century on Cabela's or in store at Cabela's at Bass Pro, those cell cams are $49.
Yeah.
Are they really?
Yep.
Wow.
$49 right now.
That's ridiculous.
so yeah, I'm not sure if that sale's still on by the time this episode hits the air, but $49.
Yeah.
But it starts with intel. We've got those cameras running, and we've been getting pictures. So we're post rut, right? That's when gun season always kicks in, post rut down there in Ohio. And the deer, at least what I've been observing, you guys jump in, but they've been coming back to feed and mineral heavy, like especially on
Our
the
mineral pit, the Jag
Oh.
mineral pit, they're nonstop
Yeah.
coming to it like they need it.
Yep. The especially the older deer, like
Yeah.
the shooters, the deer that are on our hit
In the
list.
middle of the day.
Yep. I mean, they are coming back, and it's funny because I was talking to Jared as well, and we were talking about he's noticing, he's like, man, for whatever reason this year, my deer are coming back to mineral right now like crazy. And we're seeing the same thing.
Yeah.
So it started with intel. So we knew there was a couple of deer that we've had on the hit list for a while coming into that northeast corner, and one of them was the 6x6.
Yeah.
Just a big old long beam, shorter tine kind of 6x6 mature buck. He's been there. He's been pretty regular. And like Chris said, we've got that grizzly set out in the corn. We set it up in a spot where you can bow hunt from it, but really, I mean, ultimately it's a gun stand. We've got tree stands kind of surrounding where that blind is.
Well, the wind is much better where it's at now than where the old stand used to be.
Oh, yeah.
So you can hunt a lot more winds with where it's at and still see the same.
Yep.
Yeah, so we kind of shifted that around a little bit.
And that spot is tricky with the wind because you'll get deer coming from
360.
I mean, they come from everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, the narrow, our first 3 deer that we had show up came from the narrow you walk through to get there.
Yeah.
Like you think there's nothing but field that way.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden 3 deer come from there.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, what the hell? So the wind's tricky in there, but you stay buttoned up no matter what. And you know, you can kill out of that blind. So yeah, we climbed up in there and we knew that deer was there. There's another deer actually that I thought the neighbor, I thought we fell victim to the neighbor. He was over in Field of Dreams, that Titty 10.
Yep.
He came back heavy to feed. I think I've got him 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, like
on
all
feed.
in a row, all in feed, regularly 2-3 times a day out of 5 feeding cycles. And then he just disappeared. And he was so regular that I was like, the only real explanation for that may be the neighbor zipped him. Like that's what I was thinking. But lo and behold, he showed up on the northeast corner. You guys had him on one of those Cabela's cameras. So, so it was basically one of those 2 deer is who I was gunning for, and because they'd been so regular, I had that I felt good about it.
Yeah,
you know. And that's awesome. When you go into a hunt feeling good, like you're like, we're in the game here.
Yeah. He was here 3 hours ago.
We're in the game.
And the weather's stacked up too. Looking ahead, it's like, wow, we're gonna have great weather all week.
And that was, so I didn't realize the storm was coming. I looked like 2-3 days prior, but it didn't really look like much. But then when I hit the weather, when I was driving down, I saw winter weather advisory. I'm like, oh, is this for real? And yeah, they were calling for 2 to 5. And so in my head, I immediately said, like, first big snowfall of the year, these deer are going to be everywhere. They're going to be going to feed heavy. And so we jumped up in the Grizz. We had those 2 bucks in mind. And like I said, the first 3 does came from where we walk in, came from the west there through the narrow. And they came in and they were sketchy as all hell. I don't know why. Not with us, just in general.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, maybe opening day, the bang in, and who knows.
Yep.
But yeah, they were sketchy as all hell. They stayed for 25, 30 minutes. And it was one of those sits where, like, we got in, we were trying to figure out, okay, how do we want to get situated with the camera and the tripod and just, you know, all
Which
the shit,
window?
right? Yeah. What's our setup? Where do we think they're coming from? And those does came in and we were just kind of pinned. We're like, well, we have no real choice. We were set where I figured we'd be, but we didn't have a choice to move.
Yeah.
Because from the minute those does came in, we had deer.
Yeah.
So
constant.
Yep. It was just, we got in and bam, we were in the action right away. And I know it's because that storm was coming.
And it was a straight east wind, right? So it was pretty perfect, in all honesty.
Yeah, it was, if anything, it may have had a touch of southeast in it, but I mean, not enough to make a difference.
Yep.
So yeah, in that blind, an east wind blows right into no man's land there. Yep. So that was good, but yeah, I mean, they were feeding, had those 3 does, and we had a spike come in, and that spike, you know, it's so awesome, especially when you have 1 deer in the field. He's basically like, he's your alarm. He's the canary in the coal mine.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Watch where he's looking.
Yep. Yeah. All of a sudden he whips his head over and you're like, well, somebody's coming from over there.
Yep.
And he can see him long before we can, you know, so he tipped his cap once and there was another buck that came in, badass young 8-point. God, that deer's sweet. Really high tip up beams in front, kicker on his G2. Like a deer that I looked at was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like he's he's going to be a stud. Yeah, he's going to be a stud. And then he came in, kind of screwed around with the spike and then kept going, made his way out of the field. And then the spike tipped his cap a second time. And when I turned and looked over, I saw tines going through the shit, and I literally said, Rich, get ready. Like, this is 6x6 here he comes.
And he was regular daylighting, like 3 straight days.
And those tines are so unique running down his beam. Yeah. It's just boom, boom, boom. They're just stacked down there, you know. And so I saw that cut through the trees, but doing what older bucks do, he didn't come in where the spike did. He didn't come in where the 8-point did. He paralleled that field for another 50 yards. And I thought
inside the timber, right? Like 5 yards.
Yep.
Just
inside it. He wasn't out in the field. He stayed inside. And my thought was, you know, that dumps down to a big ditch there before it goes into E or corner. And I'm like, if he rides that, he's going to dump down that ditch, and he's probably he's probably not coming in here.
Yeah.
And he kind of walked through, and then I lost sight of him. Then I picked him up again, and he just stood on the edge of the field, and he was parallel, kind of broadside with the field edge. And then he turned, and he started looking in the field. And when he turned his body, I'm like, okay, here he comes. And then I saw him do the old tail flick, and I'm like, yep, and just right in the field.
Well, the interesting part too, like this year we do have food in that field. It's cut corn, and there's still a lot of food on the ground.
Yep.
And we hadn't had that in years and years and years.
Yeah.
And also with that east wind, where he's walking straight south straight south.
Yep.
And that's all thick bedding to his east.
Yep.
So he's scent checking as long as he possibly can inside that timber, and then he's stepping in just see if there's any late ones.
When I pulled the trigger, if you'd have seen the tails that went up in there, I mean, there was 30 deer in there.
Yeah.
Confidently at least 30 deer in there.
Yep.
And so he was just in there just like, what's going on in here?
Yeah.
Should I stay here? Maybe should I go out there, right? Because he came out in the field and he started making his way across. The footage is beautiful because the way that grizzly sits, we're elevated on the tower, but it sits in a little bit of a dip if they come out on that side. And so it's almost like you're eye level with them.
The footage is unreal.
The footage is just gorgeous of him coming across there.
Yeah.
And we let him come out. I let him come all the way out as far as I could until I would have had to do the window switch myself. And I just said, I'm like, we good? Because if we are, this is going to happen.
Yep.
Rich said, yeah, we're good. So I pulled the trigger, 350 Legend, pounded him as always. We'll talk about that caliber here in a minute. But the tails, that field was about to have 30, 40 deer in it.
Yeah.
No time. It was, I've never actually, I was shocked. I hit him. And I knew I smoked him, and I'm watching him run, and at the same time, I'm like looking left, and I'm like, holy shit, look at the deer in there.
Yeah.
It was just deer bouncing everywhere.
Well, especially because you're looking at him the whole time, you don't realize what else has come in. You're just you're staring at the shooter, you're kind of surveying, but you don't realize that 15 other does have walked in from over there, or this happened, and then all of a sudden, bam, you're like, what just happened?
Yeah, well, there's still a lot of cover, too, in that corn, so they don't pop like it's a clean field. They kind of blend in really well.
But they were all in the timber and in the CRP. That corner, Eeyore corner's got that CRP. They were like on the verge of coming into the field. And that's what I think. He was just riding that line, just checking everything. And then, he looked out and he was like, I'll get in the field. So he came out. But yeah, having the corn the way it is this year, they didn't chisel plow it under yet. So it's still, we got stalks that are still 3 feet tall.
Yeah.
And when you look at that, I was actually, when I had that buck in the scope, I was trying to pick because there's so many stalks between me and him, some half stalks. And I honestly think that makes them 10 times more comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
They get out there and
color.
they still feel like they've got cover. It's not bare dirt or winter wheat where it's just,
You can see
like a mowed lawn or a golf green.
Yeah.
So I think they're super comfortable when they come out in that stuff.
I think the weather pattern, when you talk about everything aligning, I think that actually had a lot to do with how successful we were that day.
Yep. Everything
I think,
to do with it, in my opinion.
I think that was a big factor. I was the same way. I didn't realize we were going to get the snowstorm. I knew it was going to drop in temp, but that snowstorm just kind of popped up on Monday, and I was like, whoa. And when that pressure started dropping, the morning was decent for opening morning, but the afternoon was, anytime you go in the blind, and you were the same way. As soon as you get in, we got in the blind, and we had, within 15 minutes, we had a shooter in the timber coming, walking around, figuring out whether they were coming in, but they were sketchy. They were the same way. The does would come in the field and then run, but they were running for no absolute reason. Mike, I had a southeast wind hitting us in the face, blowing back this direction. They came in the southeast corner. So they were completely down. But as soon as they walked in the field, they were just looking around, and then a doe would run and then stop and then come back in and then run and stop. And it was just weird. But eventually they settled down and got comfortable. But it was early movement all day. But when it started at normally about 4:15, 4:30, it was 3:00 and they were moving 2:45, way early. And I think weather had a lot to do with that.
Oh, for sure.
I always try to operate everybody looks at the theories of, weather patterns. You look at the pressure, barometric pressure, temperature. You look at all those things. I try to boil it down to anytime it's volatile and it switches from one to the other, chances are deer are moving. So if it's going from kind of easy peasy, just calm, cool weather to all of a sudden, bam, you're going to get a storm, chances are they're going to move. And if it's been nasty as shit for days and it's going to change and kind of get calm, chances are they're going to move. So it's one of those things. As soon as I saw the snow, I'm like, well, this should be awesome. I didn't look at anything aside from this is a pretty volatile change from what it is right now, and that's going to make them get up and get
And the snow was coming after dark, so it was coming in the like late in the and not starting to snow at 3 o'clock. It was it
didn't start until like 9.
It didn't start till late, so it was let's go eat, because they can feel that pressure drop there. That's the whole thing. But I agree with you. Anything that gives you, if it's 1% more chance, that's great, right? And then all those little 1%ers add up to, man, there's a 30% chance we're going to shoot more. And that whole situation that day, a lot of little 1%ers added up to get us to like, okay, this is going to be good. We had all the intel, we had the food, we had, the weather, we had cover, we had all the things ready to go. And it was just like, man, this might actually work out tonight. Like both of us are going to kill it. I said it to Louie, we were driving. I was like, if I'm a betting man today and there's a fantasy football or fantasy league, I'm putting money on the 6x6 going down and the one that I shot, the bladed 8, the Jumbo Junior. And I'm like, because they felt like they were the most consistent on the cameras in a way that was like, they're going to be there. They're going to show up. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, Jumbo Junior was on that mineral nonstop for the last week.
Twice a day.
Yeah, it was crazy.
If you go back and look, within minutes every day. So he'd be like 6:38 a.m., 6:41 a.m., 6:44 a.m., 6:38 a.m. Like it was just,
constant.
literally within minutes. It's fascinating.
And then coming back the other way, he was 4:15, 3:50. Like he was coming back the other way. So it was definitely a matter of like, okay, well, at some point he is going to show up.
Yep.
It's just a matter of like, did he get on a doe? Because that deer disappeared for 4 weeks in the rut. And it's funny because the neighbor came down, old Smoky Jim there or whatever. He came down and saw the deer and hanging in a skin shed. He said, "Oh, I saw that deer. He was south on this place," and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, well, that makes total sense. Because that's off our property on the south, but he was down there, and he's like, yeah, I saw him down there on that dam. He's chasing it's like, okay, so he went that direction. That's why he wasn't on us, but he was chasing deep in the hole. Yeah. And he was a mature deer, so he was down there for 4 weeks, basically, and then boom, right back to his home ground, and he was doing the exact same pattern that he was doing in October when he was running a scrape line. He was doing that same pattern, except he was stopping at that mineral pit, and he kept going, and it was like, okay, now he's back, and he's killable because he's back on pattern. And it was those 4 weeks that he was gone, man, he was not on one camera on the whole property.
To me, that just speaks to the power of food.
Yeah.
Regular food, dependable food, like stuff that they can get. They've been on 1900 all summer. They were on 1900 all the way leading into the fall. It was a regular thing. They knew it was available. That deer left. He went and did his thing for the rut and was like, "Okay, I'm going home to eat." I'm like, I got to go get trained.
They're trained.
I got to go get my body back in tip-top shape, and I know exactly where I'm going to do that.
I know where I'm going to do it. I know where I'm going to get it.
And that's part of what I look at too, like over the course of this winter, because we've got the ability to have those deer on feed. Is what else is coming?
Yeah.
Because when you're running a supplemental feed program, you're able to bring deer. You increase your holding and carrying capacity. Once they find that food, especially in the dead of winter, they may just make that home. You know what I mean? Versus like, okay, I'll go back to, somewhere else if you're giving them everything they need. And so it wouldn't surprise me if we have new deer showing up on camera consistently because we've got the majority of the feed.
I think too, this property's always been kind of like a replacement deal where when we take big deer replace it that we've never seen. And it's different. We've talked about this before, but the property is, I feel like it's on the edge of 3 different deer families. You know what I mean? Like, to that side, to that, we're at the most distant range that they go, but we have all the food because there's so much timber around us. There's to the one side there's some ag, but for the most part where these deer are living, it's heavy timber, and we have the food, and it just brings them in from all different directions. And it's cool every year, even late season after gun season, we'll have cameras out, or early season in September or July and August, to see the new deer, to see the new bucks, because a lot of times you think and we do have some year to year
some
deer.
Holdovers,
yeah, we have some holdovers, but a lot of times it's like, where did that deer come from?
I would say we're way less holdover resident deer than we are new deer every year.
A small number of holdover. I mean, we get them and you know which one, but like we had a couple of that young buck was it Picasso? What do we call him? The young one?
Oh, we called
I didn't. We haven't seen him all season long.
The one that moved around all over the place. What did we call him?
He was all over.
Yeah.
He was all over in velvet, all over after he shedded, and I have not. We haven't seen. I haven't seen him on camera one time.
And I don't think he'd have got shot because he's one of those deer. A lot of people around us, they're management too, very managed, heavy, and he's like an incredible 3-year-old that's going to blow up.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him.
Yeah,
at all.
No, not once. But he's one of those deer that'll show up he'll show up in the spring, and he'll be eating at the mineral pit, and all of a sudden be like, oh, there he is, he's back. It's crazy where they go.
And there is, I mean, we haven't seen it in our area. There's EHD in Ohio was really bad this year.
Real bad.
Not by us, but there's nothing saying that some of these deer couldn't have got zipped by a midge here or there.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, the property, we have so many places and sanctuaries we don't go to.
Never find them.
We would never know that, if that happened to one of the deer down there. And not until shed season, maybe we'll find them, when we go shed hunting. But other than that, we don't even go in there. So there's a lot of that.
Zoolander.
I'm just
Zoolander, that's him.
Thankful we didn't get clobbered because a lot of people got they
got hammered.
I mean, bad.
Yeah.
Real, years to recover.
Yeah.
So no, we avoided all that, thankfully.
Yeah.
Well, I got tempted by Crazy Eyes, the ugly ass. I called him Crazy Eyes.
So set yours up. This is the evening.
Yeah. Same evening, same situation. I hunted in the bowling alley the morning where basically I was looking for a deer we called Godzilla, which was this one with the drop tine. Big 9 with a drop. He's a big deer. But the neighbor had already shot him with a bow high. We got him on camera afterwards, like weeks afterwards. So we know he's still alive. But I haven't had him on the camera down there. It's been over 2 weeks.
It's been a while.
And then on opening day, the guy almost blew me out of the stand. I mean, it scared the ever living shit out of me. He was about his line is, 400 yards through the timber, and he's got just enough timber.
Yeah.
Like he owns just enough inside the timber that it's not all our timber, It's like, oh man. Yeah. But anyway, bam. And I said to Louis, that was close enough that you can look for if a deer runs 150 yards, 200 yards on a shot, I'm like, there's a high chance he's coming down into this, because that's where he beds.
Yep.
So we were kind of sitting there watching, and then all of a sudden, man, the woods lit up, and it was like, I heard the quad up there, bop, 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 coming down through, and there's, they're all, so I'm like, they're happy about something. So in my mind, I was like, they got him, and I didn't even want to text him or go over there. I was talking to Jared, and I was like, I don't want to know. I want it to be a surprise next year if he's back on camera, and I'm sure that they'll send a picture at some point.
Yeah.
But it was kind of, when we were sitting there, that quad started coming, man, the woods, it was like a deer drive. I just was like, Louis says, there's a spike right there. I said, yeah, I see him. Then I go, there's another one. Hold on. And then it was just like, but we were at that distance where they started to stop.
Yeah, where they're coming
So again. At one point there was 30 of them coming through, but they were like does, and it was just walking, like they weren't running, and it was just like trying to figure out what was in there. And there was a Big 10, like a Big 10. I think you saw him early on because you showed me the video of him. He's a 50s 10. Yeah. And then there's the Crazy Eyes. This is old ass. He's like
One-Eyed Willie.
Yeah, we used to call this deer Texas shit pile. And Crazy Eyes, he literally has like one eye. Mm-hmm. And he has no brows, like 3-inch tines, but he's probably 6.5 years old, maybe even older. I mean, he's just an absolute tank of an old deer. He's a bully. He goes in there, and he was on camera quite a bit, and he's just a bully. So anyway, he was in there, and they went up past me and went up towards the trifecta, and I thought, okay, well, we are going to hunt the trifecta tonight because the wind east switching is terrible for where it's at anyway. So I was like, all right, we're going to go to trifecta. And same thing, it's like if this weather changes the way it's supposed to, all those deer that just went by us they're already up there. They're going to come to the field. So I was anticipating that 10 and some others come to the field. Well, sure enough, we were in the blind maybe an hour. We had one deer off to the south. I don't know who it was. To this day, I don't know who it was, but it was a big deer. Just caught him in the timber. And then I looked to my right. Through the grizzly, they have that mesh. And I looked through the grizzly. I said, there you go. Oh, no. I said, here comes Crazy Eyes. And I'm sitting there thinking, if you're going to do it, now's the time to shoot this thing. It's gun season. Get him out of here. But man, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I was just like,
ugly.
It's too early, and
Too early.
I'm doing all the. There's no way. He walked right in front of us at 50 yards, and then he's eating corn, and he's standing there, and I'm just thinking. Again, rack wise, it didn't matter. It was age. It was, let's get an old buck out of here that's a bully, and he chased a lot of deer off the property, and it's like, let's just hammer this guy and manage it. We got the opportunity to do it, so I'm just him hunting. You've already shot now, and of course that's going through my head. I'm like, man, wouldn't it be fun if we had 2 deer? And then I'm like, but I would have this like beam with a 3-inch tie in case he got a 6x5, 6x6 over there. I'm like,
he is like the buck that like gift shops make crib boards out of. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the show shitty antler that they're like, oh, let's make a crib board out of.
If you zoom in on one of the trail cam pictures, he looks like a mount that's been in a bar for 30 years.
Like smoked
that,
out.
Like he looks like one of those, like one eye's kind of not working, and he's got like, he just looks awful.
Gangly.
Yeah, he looks like the smoke had got to him for years, Yeah. So I don't know. I just couldn't pull myself to do it. And I said, what do you think? Well, he goes, it's your deer. And he's in focus. I'm like, no, not doing it. So anyway, and right as I said that, I go, no, man, I just can't do it. I looked to my left, and I didn't even need the binos. I needed nothing. I saw the frame. That Jumbo Junior is a big 8 that has a bladed G2, just like Jason's deer Jumbo, same area. And he just has that frame. You know it as soon as you see it. He's got a white horn. He's been on the trail cameras enough. I looked to my left, and I was like, shoot him. I'm like, we're doing this. And he actually came out, and it was similar, except he was inside. He came out from the timber with an east wind, and he walked down the edge, scent checking basically back into McRib in that area back there. So he was but he was on the edge of the field. He could care less about who was in the field. He came right up, turned, and then just was on a dead walk, and he was going to go right down over the hill. And I was like, we are going to have to shoot him, and we're going to have to shoot him fast because he's leaving. And it was just a matter of, by the time we got up, got the guns out, quiet, opened the windows, again, silent windows. The whole time crazy, I was just staring at the blind, like, what's going on? Because you're starting to bang around a little bit because you're getting the cameras ready and all the stuff. And then I'm like, here we go. And then it was basically, you on him? Yes, done. And it was like 190, and dude, it just 350. Waited for him to open up. As soon as he opened up, he was quartering away, shoof, and it was just like, he's done. So, but what happened is I re-racked. Because you kind of remember I'm like, man, I could poke another one if I needed to. Like, so I shoot and I'm watching him in the scope, and then I'm like, he's running, but I can't. I felt comfortable, but I'm like, so I just took my eye out, re-racked, and then when I came back down on the gun again, I was like, I go, where'd he go? And he's like, dude, he's dead. But what I didn't see is, he hit and flipped upside down. I didn't see any of that because I was re-racking and trying to get back on him. Louis like, you don't have to shoot him again. Look at him, he's dead. I'm like, I can't see anything. And then I was like, oh, I get it now. I saw his head at the last second, and I was like, oh, he's right there. He's like, he went 25, 30 yards.
Yeah,
like,
both those deer just didn't go anywhere.
No.
At Keefer Brothers, our mission is to pass on what the wild has taught us. Every single step into the wild tells a story, and we've spent years capturing those moments in the rawest way possible. So if you're not afraid to step outside of your comfort zone and you want to go further and live the kind of life that most people only talk about, be sure to visit KeeferBrothers.com. Whether you're there for the stories, the skills, or the connection, everything lives at KeeferBrothers.com and the all-new companion app.
Every shot counts. And when it's time to make it count, you want the best. Winchester Ammunition has built its legacy on a commitment to innovation by continuously pushing what's possible. In the heartland of America, the American legend crafts ammunition that's purpose-built, reliable, accurate, and ready to perform no matter how harsh the conditions. Whether you're hunting or shooting for sport, Winchester will be there.
All right, let's talk about beer for a second. You ever notice there's a big difference between Busch Light drinkers and other beer drinkers? I like to say we live on the wild side. A guy with a Busch Light in his hand, he's a man of the people. He's out there in the wild every day. He's in the trenches smashing bushies with a smile on his face. You know why? Because he doesn't care. He's not looking for a soulmate. He just needs something to wash that damn jerky down. And he's got himself a 12-pack of Freedom in a can. And when that can gets cracked, It's like opening a door to a whole different world. It's just a vibe. And if you haven't felt it, you should. So go grab yourself a case of Bushies, give them a rip, and take a walk on the wild side. Wherever your adventure takes you, count on Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's to make it memorable. From the timberline to the campsites to the lake and the range, get your family outfitted with the right gear. With premium brands like Worldwide Sportsman, Ascend, Instinct, Redhead, and Natural Reflections, they've got the apparel and the gear to make it the best adventure ever. Stop by today for a one-of-a-kind shopping experience in-store or online at BassPro.com and Cabela's.com. See for yourself at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's stores. Your adventure starts here.
No, and you know that you were talking about the 350 earlier. It's like shooting a 22. Yeah. I mean, there's zero recoil. It's
223 basically.
It is an amazing little gun. That 350. I mean, we were talking about this earlier. From youth all the way up, it's a lifetime gun. Like if you give a kid a gun like that and they start with that, there's no reason, like now at the age of 46, that I'm not shooting that 350. Like that is just a lifetime gun on deer. And it's awesome. I love that gun.
And paired up with that deer season XP.
Oh,
I mean, that's
what I was shooting.
That's the secret.
Deer season.
I mean, there's other different products that Winchester that we've killed a lot of deer with too. But we get the best results out of deer season XP.
It's undeniable.
The hollow point. The big tip on the end.
Prefer the deer season.
Well, it's got a huge cavity so that it expands like crazy, and they put that polymer tip in there just to help it accuracy wise, get through the air. It's undeniable. I mean, every deer that I've shot, actually, though, and I was thinking about this, every deer that I've ever shot with a 350 with deer season XP has been dead within 30 yards.
Yeah.
The one deer that wasn't, I was shooting copper impact. And it was shot placement 100%. It was a little bit low, and it just zipped right through him without expanding because it didn't have anything to hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But damn it, that deer season XP just rocks them. And I don't know why, if you have a hunt and you're killing whitetails and like I'm sub 200 yards, I don't know why you wouldn't shoot it. Like it's the only gun to shoot.
Well,
it's
especially
unreal.
the way that they're modifying some of these seasons, like muzzleloader now in certain counties, even in Michigan, you can use straight wall, you can use any weapon, and in Michigan, you're not getting 500-yard shots. I mean, you just take the 350 Legend in the timber.
It's perfect.
I mean, you're going to get 50, 60-yard shots, small food plots up here, that kind of stuff.
Well, and the gun itself, it's a small gun.
Yeah, it's a small gun.
It's the XPR, at least the versions that we've got.
Yeah.
Did you get a pass through?
No, but it went all the way through into the far shoulder and just
which is the design. Did you get a pass through?
Yeah. I hit the far shoulder, same thing, and broke them down.
What you hear a lot is, and we've all heard it from, man, I love that 350, but it doesn't. There's no pass through, but it's not designed to pass through. Right. We've talked about this a lot, but it's designed to keep all that energy inside that cavity.
Rupture
the minute it passes through and goes through the other side, that energy leaves,
it carries it,
and it doesn't. So maximum, and that's the design. That they did this, and they tested and tested and tested. That's by design. It does. They do not want Winchester ammunition. Does not want that bullet to pass through.
And you don't need it to.
You don't need it to.
I mean,
no.
My shot, when you go back and look at it, it cut his heart clean in half. So it was shot placement was on point, but it still at the angle he was at, it went through, it hit his far shoulder, and it wrecked the far shoulder entirely.
Yeah, these aren't broadheads. A broadhead you want to go through because there's no energy that it retains it's in that cavity.
You need them to bleed.
But these deer, I mean, if you put it in the right spot, you want internal damage.
That terminal ballistic damage is what you're chasing.
And I was pushing it, so I got my 350 setup is XPR, and then I got the Leupold Freedom 350 Freedom scope, 3-9, and I have the turrets, and I have mine set at 150. And so I know basically at 200. I mean, I'm not losing much, right? I mean, I'm an inch high at 100. Give me out to 200, and then I'm at 100, and then I'm fine, right? And so that's where. So I knew I was at that corner is at that's pretty much max right there, where I'm like, okay, now I got to start dialing in other stuff.
I mean,
it's right there, and I was like, But again, I felt 100% confident in that gun because there's no recoil.
Yeah.
So as long as you are steady, which I just opened the bow window and put my fist, on the bow window, so I could just rest the gun on my hand, and I was steady as a rock, and I wasn't zoomed in all the way, right? So we were talking about this too the other day. I like the deer to be in the scope, but not like to the point where I'm counting hairs.
See every little.
I like it to be in the scope where my scope is steady, where I'm not, when I'm zoomed up, you'll get that bounce. I just personally like to be backed up. So I was only on 6. I wasn't all the way on 9. And it was just like, okay, I know on the body where to go, came down on him. And then as soon as he opened up, it was just boom. And it hit exactly where I was, not like 2 inches low, it was like zip, and it was
and
right
190 is no chip shot, man.
No.
I mean, for even a rifle, like you have to be solid, and you have to, see those crosshairs when you pull the trigger. You have to see that.
But I feel more comfortable with the 350 at that, honestly, because of the recoil difference. Like I know for a fact, like when sometimes you get a big gun, 300 Win Mag, it's coming, and they're subconsciously
you anticipate it a little bit.
You could pull it, right? Because you just know that recoil is coming. But that 350 is like shooting a 22. I mean, there's zero. So I just know, as a matter of fact, when I rested the gun, I wasn't holding the barrel or anything. It was just resting perfect. And I'm like, I didn't have to like hold the top of it or grip the gun. I just laid it down, and you just touch off. And I'm like, I felt so good. So the best I felt on shooting something like that at that distance in a long time. And that gun had a lot to do with it.
The sound is the other thing.
Oh, yeah.
So a week ago in Missouri, I shot with the 300 Win Mag.
Yeah.
With the muzzle brake, had the barrel out the window. And when I touched that rifle off, and it hit the deer, Rich and I both looked at each other, and I was like, oh. And the barrel was out the window, and my ears were just ringing. I was like, oh no, it's just so loud, And then that XPR, I took it to the range before I jumped down to Ohio. I'm like, I want to go verify everything. And the first shot is like, I'm like, oh, this
crazy,
is nice.
Man. Like I was. I left around noon, 11 o'clock. I wanted to be, because I was wrapping up the latest episode that's on our app. I didn't have a tag. Louie and Rich were filming, so I was like, I got to be down there for the festivities, and hopefully there's deer on the ground. As I was driving down, there's deer in the fields early. I'm like, oh man, I start getting. Then I get the message that you shot. You just said he gone in our group text.
I didn't even hear your shot.
I knew.
I literally, I'm telling you, I even said it to Louie. There was one shot that sounded like it was to the south, and I just said, no, that's not Casey, because it just sounded like that. But then I did not hear another shot. Really? Then I heard you texted he gone, and I looked at him and I said, did he shoot? I go, I didn't hear a shot. He's like, I didn't hear a shot. Didn't even hear it.
It's crazy, and it's whisper quiet. And again, we do have a lot more on the field now. We have a lot of those corn stalks. They suck up sound, but it was quiet. So I pull in and I'm excited. I'm at the parking lot, and I had a little Captain and Coke I poured out. I'm just waiting for the recoveries. I'm just excited. And then I'm changing my clothes and getting ready, get my headlamp, and I hear like a pop, and I'm like, that was Chris. Yeah. It's quiet. Like to your point, it's super quiet, and I'm like, that had to be Chris right over there. Sure enough, you say Jumbo Jr. I'm like, no way. And then, another one of our really good friends, he texted across, he's hunting another property. He's like, I just shot. Yep. So it happened within like a half hour. Yeah. And it was just one of those nights where you're like, man, they're everywhere tonight. And it was exciting. It was. Because we go to the skin and shed, and we got recoveries, and we shoot video. And it's just, that's what it's the anticipation, the excitement. Yeah. That's what opening day is all about, is you can, then we'll talk through the recoveries and stuff, but man, it was fun. Yeah. That whole half hour was wild. It was like 1 down, 2 down, 3 down. They come in bunches. Yeah. It's like it was happening. Whatever it was right that night. It was. Whether it was temperature or pressure or a combination of all of it. And it was right. I think it was right the next morning, because Rich went back out, and I think it was still kind of. The snow hit. The snow hit, so they were still heavy. They were everywhere the next morning. Now I think they've settled in, like, all right, and so it's definitely slowed down. All the cameras slowed down, everything slowed down. But yeah, it was $5 down. Grady and Griff and everybody shot that night. Johnson's first buck. His first buck ever. Our buddy shot his first buck ever. It just,
seeing his journey, trying to get back into hunting has been fun. He missed last year with me in muzzleloader season, and so he got the bug, and then he's like, I've got to come back, and now he shoots one, and he's learning the age and all the stuff on how to do it. So it's been fun to kind of see him get back into it and shoot his first buck. So we had the first buck on the ground. We had Grady and Griff, the two brothers, Jared's sons, both shot on the same day, and then you and I shot on the same day. And like all of that.
Four brothers.
Four brothers on the same day and a new buck. And it was like, okay. And, we have a tradition. It's a fireball per deer, and because usually it's archery season and we only get maybe one or two. 5, it was like, I don't know if we can do 5, but
no, we didn't do 5.
I did 1.5.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
I was like,
1.5.
yeah, people were handing them out and I was putting them in my pocket.
Yep, I got a pocket full of them.
I was like, man, I don't know if I can do 5 fireballs, but cheers everyone, grab the empty one and cheers,
Here's what I love. So I was talking to Johnson, he was standing over there, I walked up and started shooting the shit with him, and I said, did he get you fired up? And he's like, oh, dude. He goes, I couldn't control myself. I said, that's why we do this. He's like, no, I'm talking. I said, did you get the shaky leg for a bit? He's like, for a bit. He said, I couldn't control myself for a half an hour after I shot this deer. He's like, I've never felt that ever in my life. And I'm like, and that is why we do this.
Yep. So I told him as soon as you don't do that, stop.
Yep.
Just stop hunting.
Yep. Hang him up.
Yeah.
We so while this was all going on, you had shot, and then I pulled in and waiting for dark, and then he calls. He said he shot, and then he calls me. I'm like, hey. He's like, hey, I shot a 10-point. I can see him. He's on the ground, and he could hear it in his voice, shaking. Yeah. And then that's when I after we hung up, and then you shot, and then like all that's happening, and I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I actually got a FaceTime from Lisa in the field, and she never does that because she knows I'm sitting.
Yeah.
And she actually, when I said I wrote and said I just shot, she actually FaceTimed me, and I think it's on camera.
Yeah.
And she's like, you're lying to me. And I'm like, but I'm not. And she's like, but this is your first sit. Like she was so like, what the hell?
This doesn't happen.
Yeah.
This doesn't
I'm
happen.
like, I'm dead serious. And Gunner's in the background. He just goes, does that mean you're coming home tonight? And I'm like, oh yeah. Like Gunner wanted me home. But yeah, they couldn't believe, And again, like she could hear it in my voice. She's like, you're excited. I'm like, you're damn right. I'm excited. I just made it happen on the first night. Yeah. So that was cool. Very cool.
So your last gun buck on the property was Eeyore in that same. Well, no. Well, that was
no.
Oh, so that's your
trifecta.
third.
My third buck. My third gun buck on that piece.
Yeah.
I don't know. I fight it in bow season. I talked to you guys about this earlier on that. I don't know why, but damn it, I fight it in bow season on that piece of property. Like this year, I had that 10 point. He came all the way to 50 yards, and I'm getting ready to seal the deal, and then he's like, nope, I'll just go back down here into this bottom. Yeah. I'm like, okay, why was that?
Yeah.
So yeah, I've taken 2 deer in gun season. Eeyore was the first one.
Yeah.
Right there in aptly named Eeyore Corner, which is basically, the opposite side of Northeast Corner.
Yep.
So it's actually 153 yards, if you're wondering, to the oak tree in Eeyore Corner.
Yeah.
So from the Grizzly, it's 153 over there. If those deer come out truly out of Northeast, like on the line there, you're tight. You're real tight like a tiger.
And it's a bow stand early and turns into the gun stand because they do cut that corner quite a bit. So and again, you got to hunt it with a completely different wind in bow season. So there's a lot of thought process in that one. I remember you and I were standing there we went out in the middle of the field and marked. I had a bag from 1900 and tied it on a corn stalk, and that's when the corn was up. So it was a little bit hard to judge because the corn was up. You and I were in the middle, and we're like, okay, right here is pretty much you got 60 yards here, 30 yards, and then we can be. And so we're kind of like doing all that. And Jared's got the front end loader for the Grizzly, and texted him, and I said, kind of drew it on the map, and I said we marked it, but I understand, if we don't. And when we went there, the stand, there's one corn stalk sticking up underneath the stand, and it's got the 1900 bag, the flag that I cut off a 1900 bag is tied on that corn stalk. I'm like, yep, that's the one, and there it's at, and it was like, we're good to go. So
it could get shifted just a scotch to put it up a little more.
Yeah,
could probably take it to the east and just kind of.
Yeah,
just lift, give it a little more elevation.
Yeah,
but it's
it's
gun season. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's pretty dialed. So it was exciting, man, to get out there, and then it's also the bittersweet of like, oh, now what? Like you're so much work goes into the farms, and you start in, all year really. I mean, we started in before spring with the feed program, and then you get the cameras, the pits, the food plots, the stands, you're doing all of that, and then it comes down to that one moment, and then you celebrate that moment. Now we're back, and it's like, well, now what? Like I was looking forward to going back and bow hunting. I was like, man, if I don't get one, and I think that's the other thing about it, being so close in Ohio and the good deer, and then just being down there with Jared and his family. And I mean,
it doesn't feel like you're away from home, and that's the best part about Ohio is it's close, but it's now become a second home to us.
It really is.
Awesome.
And Wolf Creek Outfitters is Jared's outfitting. Mm-hmm. We don't hunt like as outfitters, but he outfits. So he's got guys that are there, and
same guys.
You got
to be on a list to get invited.
And I'm telling you, if you're going to go hunt with Jared, I mean, you're going to get on the list, and then you're not going to leave. You're not going to get off the list. Yeah. I mean, everybody that I've known now every week, we know just about every guy. Yeah. That's
for years.
Yeah, for years now, and it's just books. I mean, he has it, and he doesn't take a lot of guys for that reason. And they all kill big bucks.
On the flip side, if you're looking to lease ground, Ohio sucks.
Yeah.
Don't ever go there.
It's
terrible.
Yeah, well, it is
terrible.
expensive.
Price of ground,
Ooh,
it's
man,
horrible.
I'll tell you.
Don't ever go.
Yeah.
How about though the liver of that one buck?
Yeah.
Did we ever figure?
I didn't see what you guys were.
I got into it quite a bit actually.
Black.
Yeah, it was
like flukes or what?
No, it wasn't flukes because I cut it open and you can see the flukes. Like
if you cut cirrhosis.
And I don't. It was like he drank.
What's that mean? Like cirrhosis, like a boozer?
It was like, literally, it was a
booze
black,
bag.
It was a black, and then when you cut it open, you got the liver color of actual liver before you cook it, kind of liver, right? That kind of fleshy,
maroony.
And my deer, we took the liver out of mine and we compared the two of them, and it was a significant difference. Johnson's was black. So it wasn't from our farm, so it was interesting. Like it was in the county, whatever, but it was just, I don't know, it was different. And I cut it open, and it was, it was so much blood, so much like buildup inside the liver. I don't know what it was. I've never seen one like that before.
And I don't know if it was after the shot something weird happened.
It could have, absolutely.
But still, I've never seen that.
Never seen, and I mean, I have gutted a lot of deer, and I've seen flukes. I mean, we've cut open and had liver flukes and different deer over the years, but I've never seen it.
Well, Chad just pulled up. Let's see. So something it could be acquired visceral melanosis, maybe. A harmless accumulation of melanin or lipofuscin pigments in the liver. Yeah. Naturally occurs, looks black, completely benign. Mm-hmm. Discovered at slaughter. Yeah. Liver safe to consume.
Oh, there you go.
Huh. So
if that's it.
If that's what it is.
It seems like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was a healthy deer, so there was no other visible signs of anything. Yeah. This was just, again, that's exactly like.
Well, the liver's slaughter. A giant filter in the body, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it
definitely wasn't flukes. That I know for a fact, because the first thing I said is cut them open and see if there's flukes, and there was not.
Crazy.
You got an image of that? Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what.
Did you guys take any pictures of it or footage of it?
I didn't.
No. We should take.
No, it was like you're in the middle of kind of gutting and stuff, and it was something that it stood out immediately. Yep. Like when we were gutting a deer, it was like, what's wrong with that one? And then when we did mine, we grabbed the two of them and put them together, and it was like, whoa, that's weird. So
it looked like a smoker's lung is what it looked
like mine.
That smoked for 50 years.
Yeah, it looked like mine.
He's got yours is pink.
Mine's coming back. It's coming back around. It's a little fleshy.
But yeah, it was pretty wild.
It looked like mine in the early 2000s. Let's say that. The late 90s.
Did you guys? I did notice when I was skinning my deer out, the actual fat.
Oh God,
a lot of fat.
Your deer was unreal. I went to get the tenders out of yours. When you were taking the straps, and I went to get the tenders, and I'm telling you, it was solid fat. Yep. I mean, and I think that's
on the feed.
That's a lot of the 1900 right there.
That deer has been hammering feed, and he has
literally lived on a feeder.
He was well positioned for winter because he had fat stores for days,
to the point where I had to cut off inside, which very rarely is that the case on the inside. And
it kind of covers the tenders.
You
got to take that whole fat.
And it
patch.
it was chunks of it before I could actually get to the tender. So it's going to be good. You have to,
but that's good. That's what you're after, you know.
And the other thing I noticed too with all the deer that we caped this year off the farm is when you're taking the back straps out, there's that back layer.
Yep.
Right, where you get your hand underneath that layer and you'll kind of pull down and to get to the strap, and that layer was like a bacon layer. You know, like it kind of has that thickness on it, and every single deer was in great shape.
Hindquarters were loaded with fat.
Yeah.
I mean, all of it. So
for some of us, the hunt never stops. Grizzly understands that more than most. Rugged, reliable, and built to never back down. Whether you're on the trail, by the water, or deep in the dark timber, Grizzly is by your side. Tough enough to take on the wild and ready for whatever you can throw. Grizzly is committed to products that never let you down. Always on the hunt with Grizzly.
out here in the wild, precision isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. Leupold Optics is built on the foundation of American craftsmanship, where every features function first. For over a century now, they've combined dedication and technology with a relentless put-it-to-the-test attitude, creating optics that stand up when everything else stands down. When it matters most, you need the best. That's what you get with Leupold Optics. While other companies out there warranty failure, Leupold guarantees performance for life. You've got things that matter. Memories, heirlooms, documents, firearms. And we all know that life is unpredictable. At Winchester Safes, they make sure life's unpredictable moments don't take those things from you. They use state-of-the-art methods that refuse to sacrifice quality. They put everything they have into their products, offering proven protection and peace of mind. There's only one safe company worthy of the title, the American Legend, and that's Winchester Safes. Follow at Winchester Safes or learn more on winchestersafes.com. When you're miles from help, second chances don't exist. That's why we shoot Rage broadheads. Massive cutting diameter, field point accuracy, and devastating results when it matters most. Hunt with Rage.
And I'll say this too, and we've said this so many times, is the body of the deer, it's so hard to tell age by body.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, both your bucks weren't huge-bodied deer.
No.
We know your buck was 6.5 or older.
Yeah.
We know that.
Know it.
Based on what we know and
History.
what the neighbors know.
The neighbors know, yeah.
We know your buck was at least 4.
Yeah, he was 4.5 for sure.
At least 4.
Yep.
And, you know, these deer are probably 175 pounds on the hoof, maybe. I mean, it was just weird to see. But then you have different bucks, like Schuster's buck was 250 pounds on the hoof.
Yeah.
So not all deer are the same genetically. It's just like us. We're all different.
Yeah.
We all have different genetic makeups, and you know, deer are the same way. Like they have different characteristics. Some of them are bigger bodied deer, some of them aren't. But you don't look at these deer like you do when you're in Illinois or Iowa, and you can't say, "Oh God, that's a 5-year-old, or that's a 4-year-old." You have to have history a lot of times with these deer.
You have to have history, and I think a lot of other factors in the aging process, like when is he coming in the field, the mass on his antlers, like
his general attitude.
Yeah, his general attitude towards other deer. Like you're just looking at every other factor.
G1s,
you're
a
correct.
lot of those
like
things.
Missouri,
faces.
you look out the window and there was the buck down there, Baxter. You look out the window and you're like, rack wise, he looks great, but you can tell he's just not there yet. Then you turn and you'll see one you're like, yeah, he's 5.5. He's got to be 6.5 years old, and sure enough, they are.
I got snuck up on there this year twice. 2 different deer that I thought would have been bigger antler wise because the smaller body. In Missouri, I'm talking. So where we're at there, I was talking with Shane about this. There's like 2 different. It's almost like turkeys where you get the overlap.
Yeah.
It's the same thing there with deer. They've got these deer that are, if they look red, like if their hair and their it looks red, they are long-bodied, big-bodied son of a bitches.
Yeah.
If it's gray, they're like these short little stumpy.
Yeah. Like a blacktail almost. Like it's crazy looking.
It's so weird. And so I had one deer that I saw one day, And I roughed him. I mean, I saw him for like 7 seconds. I roughed him at like 68.
Yeah.
I'm like, that deer's a stud. He ends up hitting the ground in gun season, and I went to look at him, and I'm like, ooh, he's like 55.
Yeah.
I'm not normally off by 12 or 13 inches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But his body was like, I mean, he's like as long as that coffee table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know. I looked at antlers,
Proportion
right?
to the
Proportion
body.
to his
and
body.
Assuming
And I'm
that's
like,
a 5-year-old
Yep.
deer, minimum. Oh, so, okay,
This
so the
is-
head's bigger
Yep,
and the
this
whole
is
thing.
where he should be. And then when I saw him actually on the ground, I was like, damn, that one would have bit me hard.
Well, in Texas, it's Texas, same thing.
Yeah.
Small body.
And the
you know.
reverse up north, you go to
reverse.
Saskatchewan, and you're like, that's a 130, and then you walk up, you're like, that's a 150 because
damn.
he's 325 pounds.
320 pounds.
Yeah, so I don't know. Body is, I got nipped twice down there. Just deer I thought would be bigger, and when I saw them dead, I was like, nope.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well,
Just one of
in
those things.
Ohio, they make the hit list at 4.5.
Yep.
Right. In Missouri, they make the hit list at 5.5.
Yep.
Right?
5.5,
So it's
yeah.
definitely, and it is controlled property. It's all the things that fall into that. But at 4.5 with us in Ohio, with all the Amish farms around us, and we have deer moving in, moving out. At 4.5 is when they hit the list, and then it's crazy how many 4.5s we've had. And then actually they're back at 6.5.
Yeah.
Which is great. Like there literally has been deer like Mohawk when I shot him.
Yep.
He was 4.5 years old. We had him all over the place. His 5.5 year
Gone.
he was gone.
where'd
Never
he go?
saw him one time and then 6.5 shot him in muzzleloader.
Saw him late January.
Yeah, in January. So it's like
Whiskey
that's
Barrel
just
did that
crazy.
to us too. I think he disappeared for a full year.
Yeah.
you know.
Barrel.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a buck that, where'd he go?
I know.
Yeah, I think neighbor might have got him.
He was
'cause
a giant to me.
He was a stud. He was up front. But yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. And then it's fun though when you look at a deer that you haven't seen him, but then you go, is that Mohawk from because you recognize the frame. We've seen enough deer over a year. For me, it's as soon as I see a frame, that's my I know who that is. But it's like, man, it's so fun to see him be like, is that? We haven't seen him in 2 years, and then it's like, oh my God, he got way bigger. That kind of thing. I love seeing that. And a lot of times those deer aren't on camera anyway.
Godzilla right now.
Yeah, Godzilla.
I haven't seen Godzilla. What was that? That recording video was.
I think I truly think he was
2023?
2023. He was 2.5 years old there.
Yep.
He's 4.5 right now. Yeah. But he's got one of those giant bodies.
Yeah.
He's one of those, man, if he got through this year, he will be a mega toad next year.
Oh, he'll be in the 80s next
And I'll
year.
tell you, that's another
No
reason
doubt.
why it's like, give it the first morning. And then I said to Louis, I go, honestly, I kind of want this deer to get through. I really do. He's 4.5, I know, and he's been wounded. So you never know what that's going to do to a deer. But at the same time, he looked good on the camera weeks afterwards. And it was like, if he gets through, you're right. He will be an 80s deer next year. A clean
Slick,
80s deer.
yeah.
A slick 80 deer with a 10-inch,
I mean, he's a 9.
Yeah.
He's a 9, a full-on 9 point.
Yeah.
With a
And he's a 60.
6-inch,
He's a
7-inch
60, right? So he's
slider.
like that high 50, 60 right now with his frame and the drop and all the stuff. Man, you let him go and he gets through. Oh man, I really hope he does.
Yep.
I really hope he does.
Haven't seen him on camera since the opening day banging.
Yeah.
Over by the
Drives me nuts.
bowling alley.
He
So
scared the shit out of me. Well, good thing I had a safety system on. I'm telling you, I about come out of that stand. It got me. The echo. That quiet.
Oh,
I'm like,
man.
it was quiet. I'm like, this is awesome.
Probably
That
because he was
bang.
shooting a 300 Win Mag.
I know. I wouldn't
You know what
doubt
I
it.
mean?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Straight wall only. He's like, yeah, except for me.
Let's go reach out and touch him. No, he definitely had a 12 gauge slug because he shot, and then a couple minutes later, I think he put it down.
Did you hear the slug tumble through the air?
Well, that's this second shot was so close that I was you're waiting to hear that like you heard that before, and I'm like,
So he shot, and then he came closer to the line and finished.
and I think he shot, and then he got down.
Yeah.
The time that it took for him to get down and go see, and then I think there was a finishing shot,
Yeah.
and then the quad, and I mean I could hear their conversation, so. It was like
They're excited. It
and
makes
they were,
me.
oh, Bill, good job. You hear it, oh man, and I'm like, oh, they got him. I'm like,
Damn it.
Now,
Well, you never know.
again, their standards are pretty good, so you never know.
And if they did, hey,
Yeah,
If they
congrats,
did, great.
man.
It
That's
is
cool.
what it
Well
is,
done.
man. That's hunting.
great buck.
Yeah, it's
I,
a great buck. You want to see them,
I just looked at the bowling alley as we're sitting here.
Yeah.
Nothing on the bowling
No,
alley.
there's
this
nothing.
morning, so.
There's nothing. He hasn't been on there. He was coming off Indian Rock, which is north of there. That's the last time I got him, and it was probably about a week before gun season. So he was going up to feed on them. So he didn't feed on us.
Nope.
So
Well, we got those little pockets of deer like that. Live here, feed there. Live here, feed here.
Yeah.
And they don't cross.
No.
I was talking with Jared about that. He's actually done some stuff. He's with the skidder. He's gone and put some trails in when they're logging. And he said he'll put trails in spots on purpose and like keep an eye on them, put cameras on. And he said deer from this side will come up and they'll scrape down the edge like this and then go that way.
Yep.
And deer from this valley will come up and scrape down the edge and then go that way.
Yeah.
And they don't frickin' cross over.
That's what I love about the property. I mean, it makes it
Yeah.
so you never truly know what you're going to see the
Yeah.
way it's set up. And we have that big valley basically between Sure Point and Mick Ridge or Mick Rip
Rip.
now. And the deer on one side of the valley don't go over, and on the other side we have rare occasions where I think Longshanks, he was a little bit of a roamer, that we got on some different cameras, but they don't come over.
No,
like
and
they
you,
stay over
and
there.
you can see it in the genetics, 100%. Like, and I'm not making this up. If you want to kill a high-framed, tall, long-tine, badass deer, go over to Trifecta or Jagger.
Yep.
If you want to kill a long beam, short tine, wide deer, go to the northeast corner because that's what you're
it's
gonna.
the recipe.
That's what you're gonna get.
you're 100% correct. And it's been like that for years.
Yep.
And that's just what it is.
Yeah, I mean, when you
There's no
start
doubt.
looking at what deer have died where, they all have the exact same characteristics. And as the crow flies, it might only be a half mile from here to there.
Yeah.
But man, those genetics are separate. Like everything about it is separate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's wild.
It's a unique place. I love it. I mean, that's why I love it, because you just don't know what you're going to see. As many, we have 20 Cabela's cameras out there right now, and you just don't know what's going to pop up on them. That's what I love.
Yep.
No. Well, the episode's going to get together here pretty quickly. We'll put it out on the app. We'll make sure everybody takes a look at it. It's fun. The footage is amazing. It's some of the best deer footage that
Well,
has been
yeah, I
laid
mean,
down.
first, the next step that I'm working on now is your Missouri story, and you had an incredible bow hunt last year. Where how many 20 some bucks,
It was unreal.
and then
I was
that's-
full draw 3 times in one sit.
Yeah.
And couldn't actually release an arrow on deer 165 or bigger.
Yeah.
5.5 years old or older.
Yeah.
Like,
And that was out.
it was
Alcatraz.
insane.
Was that down in Alcatraz?
Yeah, it was down by Alcatraz, and then I had airmail. I did send one over the top, so we got that. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff coming out of Missouri. We got a lot of cool content overall.
Tons.
Yeah. We just dropped a bunch of new stuff.
On the app, we just dropped a ton of new stuff. So we're rounding out the very first Hunt Academy with the DIY Alaska basics, the 101 stuff. We're rounding that out. So every chapter, I think, is up there right now. We've also got a bunch of new hard-on shit episodes. We've been doing a ton of testing on new Cabela's Instinct gear, whether it's the thermal base layer stuff or some of the outerwear. We got a bunch of new hard-on shit episodes talking about that. So really just trying to help people. If you're going into the holiday season and you're thinking of stuff to buy for yourself or your kids or husband, wife, whatever it is, go on there, watch some of the hard-on shit episodes and learn about the gear because it's top-notch.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it's amazing. So we dropped a few films. We dropped additional films. We got Sunrise out there. We got a couple of waterfowl. We did the waterfowl films out there
Kodiak.
from Alaska.
Yep,
Kodiak is out there. So guys, we're putting a ton of content out as much as possible. I mean, every week there's new stuff dropping on the app. So make sure you get in there, join the Brotherhood on that side. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Also,
So, all year round.
promo codes in there for a lot of our brand partners
So
to save
discounts.
money on gear, discounts on gear.
Yeah.
There's a ton of stuff in the app that's going to be valuable to people as we
Yeah,
go to the holidays.
one purchase of one item with a discount covers your fee for the app for the whole year.
Yeah, for the whole season.
Honestly,
Tons of discount codes in there on our products, so definitely check it out.
Yep.
Get in there, get after it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got a lot of stuff coming. We're within 2 weeks, and then stuff's coming. So like every time we shoot, we're close. And now Casey shot in Missouri. Now we got the Missouri episode coming, and then now we'll have this one
I
afterwards.
still got a bow tag down there too.
I've got a
I've got
gun
a-
tag.
I've got a
for
gun tag,
muzzle
too.
loader.
Yeah.
I'd love to go back down there.
Well, we get a little bit of cold weather. We got a lot of standing grain.
Yeah.
Corn and beans standing all over down
Keep
there.
in touch
So-
with Shane. I think that
Stay
the
tuned.
muzzleloader opens up December 27th or 8th or something like that
goes,
down there.
It goes through
just after Christmas.
January 6th or 7th.
It's a
I think.
It's almost like a week. It's like 10 days or something.
Stay
So it
tuned.
depends on. Yeah, I should be thinking about it.
Yeah. Well, right now I'm thinking about going to get something to eat because I'm hungry.
Yeah. What time is it? It's time for
About
lunch.
it. That's it. Thanks for listening.
Mama say it's a new day song.
Seeing your arrow vanish in the dark is pure adrenaline. Nocturnal makes it clear. Bright, tough, and dead simple to use. Low light or last light. Track your shot all the way through. Shoot Nocturnal.
Some call it out on the trail. I like to call it the road less traveled. The kind of place where the going gets tough. That's where Tracker Off-Road comes in. Made for those who won't back down. Tracker Off-Road delivers the hardest working machines with the greatest capability at the strongest value in the industry. Built by those who know what it takes and designed for those who don't turn back. Tracker is dedicated to delivering machines that let you get the most out of your day and your dollar. Ready to take on your next adventure? Go with Tracker Off-Road.